Let's talk about export requirements. In order for you to export, you'll need to comply with trade regulations, and these can be categorized into two: local and international relations, depending on your export market. Stay until the end of the video to find out more about trade regulations and how you can access them as an exporter or potential exporter.
So what are these requirements? These requirements, they are categorized into two. There is the local requirement and also the destined countries requirements. First, I'm going to talk about the local requirements. So remember, everything depends on the type of product that you're exporting, that you're dealing with. Each product has got different requirements, but today I'm just going to give you just the general requirements. So in terms of the local requirements, for example, if you're exporting horticultural produce, you need to register with the Agricultural Marketing Authority, that is AMA. And you also need to get the export permit from the Ministry of Agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture is the one that determines that the country has got a surplus or not. So it is the custodian of the export permits. After getting your export permit, you now need to also get your phytosanitary certificate if it is a horticultural produce. And then you also need to go to your bank. Your bankers are the ones that are going to issue out with the export documentation. The export documentation can include the CD1, CD3, or it can also include the general services declaration forms. So all these forms, they capture the information about what you are exporting, where you're exporting, the country of destination, and also the amount. This information is captured so that we actually know that we're exporting goods to country A or to country B and at what value. So these are the local requirements. In terms of the destined countries requirements, these requirements, they vary depending on the type of product that you're producing. For example, if you are producing horticultural produce, one thing that you need to know is the country that you're exporting to, are they very fussy about the certification issues? For example, the EU, they look at the global gap certification. So you make sure that you should have your global certification at hand. Some countries, they may insist on halal certification. So you also need to have a halal certification. But one other thing that you need to know is that your certification might be accepted in this country, but not accepted in the other country. So those are the things that you need to actually have at hand before you start the export journey. And then other countries, they might also insist on having a regulatory agent to register your product. So meaning that you have to register your product. For example, if it is a food-related product, they might need you to register with their food regulatory agents. By registering your product with that food regulatory agents, it means that your product can now be sold in that country legally. Meaning that the product has passed all the tests. It's acceptable to be consumed by citizens of that country. So these are the requirements that are required for you to export.
Zimtrade, Zimbabwe's trade development and promotion organization, can help you with information on export requirements. Visit us on our website www.tradezimbabwe.com or email us on info@zimtrade.co.zw. Zimtrade, energizing Zimbabwe's export growth.